Do more by doing less. With me, Charles Alexander, for small business owners, startups, and busy folks.
Daddy, will you read me a story? Have you ever got to the end of a day completely exhausted and still felt like all the stuff you were supposed to do got pushed off until tomorrow? I have. That feeling means a little something because most people aren't really quote unquote burned out from doing the wrong things. They're burned out because they try to do absolutely everything. If you're a little like me, you maybe you got a family, you got spouse, kids, work, job, business, church, health, and what you're trying to do a million things at one time. So by the end of our little chat here, I want you to know how to identify these few habits that actually move your life and your business in the direction that you want to, even on the absolute most exhausting days. So look, here's the core thing. Most progress comes from just a few keystone habits, not a dozen tasks. When energy is limited, and it often is, consistency beats intensity every time. If you protect the right habits, everything else either falls into place or it becomes optional. So one night, my sweet middle child, Lilly, gosh, what was she? 6, 7. She looked up at me with those big brown eyes and said, "Daddy, will you read me a story?" And it was late and I was exhausted. We had done breakfast, lunches, and dinners and, went to work, worked out, picked up, dropped off, did the dishes, and picked up the same toys twice. And everything in me wanted to say, "Oh, no, baby, not tonight." But when they were little, we didn't get a lot of things right, me especially. But Sarah and I had made a commitment, said every night before these kiddos go to bed, we're going to sit down and read with them. Just, even if it's a page or two. So I smiled, grabbed a llama red pajama and read for 5 minutes. And that 5-minute habit didn't change my life overnight. It didn't make me dad of the year, but it ended the day well. And it created some one-on-one time. That habit helped our kids go to happy and sometimes even wake up happy. And over time, it kind of paid off in different ways that I couldn't really even see in the moment. Not just in their ability to read, but just that time that we spent with them that now that they're teenagers, I don't get back. So that's what a keystone habit does. It quietly makes everything else work and do better. And I see the same thing with business owners. The successful ones aren't doing more. They're protecting a small number of habits that really matter, and they do them even when they're tired or overwhelmed or frustrated. So here's what I need you to do. First, decide on the 1 or 2 things that are keystone habits for you. Not 10, not 15 values that you've sketched out, just like 1 or 2 things that if you do really well, that make everything else fall into place. For some of you, that could be client time. It could be managing your team. It could be creating some standard operating procedures. It could be just a few things that if you do them, leads and lead follow-up, everything else works better. And then second, stop starting your day with the little things, the email and the research and the doom scrolling. All of that can come later. Protect those priorities first. And then third, put a hard constraint around it. That means time limits, force priorities. This is kind of the Parkinson's law. Whatever time you set to do something, it will take every bit of that time plus some. Give yourself constraints. If you have something that traditionally takes you 2 hours to do a proposal, give yourself 90 minutes and you'll be surprised at how you can kind of lock in and get that done. And each of those takes just a little bit of time to decide on. So get them locked in, get them going. And if nothing changes, and if you don't do that, your day will just keep filling up with not important stuff, and you'll work on the wrong things or too many things. And when you protect a few keystone habits, that progress, it kind of compounds, and the exhaustion starts to ease and the progress starts to increase. So this week, write down just 2 keystone habits for your life, for your business. Be really careful, protect them every day. This is a 1-week experiment. And if you want help identifying, defending those habits, remember that's exactly what I do with some Time Freedom Weekly coaching. I do that through video messaging, work around your schedule, and hold you accountable. So remember, progress doesn't come from trying to do everything. It comes from doing a few things consistently, even when you're tired.